except this is their proposal. This has been their proposal. This is not different than previous proposals. Do you understand? So cute, my little Hasanito. Full text of the Hamas response to Trump. Okay, we'll get to this breaking news story right now. As you guys know, there was a fake peace plan that was put forward. The peace plan had a bunch of additional Benjamin Netanyahu provisions added onto it. All of the Arab states that actually participated in the peace plan, which once again had very little Palestinian input, no Palestinian input whatsoever. All the Arab countries actually came out and said, what the fuck? America, you just added a bunch of random shit to this like so-called 21-point peace plan that was not initially on the agreement that we put together. What the fuck's that about? Turns out it was Benjamin Netanyahu that added those provisions. But it also doesn't end there. Benjamin Netanyahu literally left the White House like 20 minutes after they did that joint press conference. He left the White House and delivered a speech in Hebrew to the Israeli audience, to the Israeli population, saying, don't worry, this peace plan is fucking bullshit. We're going to keep killing them. Okay? And I said that this was, again, not about like ending this bloodshed, but instead simply managing the PR of Israel as it continues with this bloodshed. Now, of course, yeah, he was on the White House lawn when he delivered that speech. I know. Now, there were many different like insane provisions added onto that. Hamas has seemingly taken the bluff and once again said, sure, we'll bite. Regarding Hamas's response to the proposal of the U.S. President Trump, out of concern to stop the aggression and the genocide being inflicted upon our steadfast people in the Gaza Strip, and based on national responsibility and commitment to the principles, rights, and supreme interests of our people, the Islamic resistance movement, Hamas, conducted in-depth consultations with its leadership bodies, extensive consultations with the Palestinian forces and factions, as well as discussions with brotherly mediators and friends in order to reach a responsible position in dealing with the plan proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. After thorough study, the movement has made its decision and has delivered the following response to the brotherly mediators. The Islamic resistance movement, Hamas, appreciates the Arab, Islamic, and international efforts, as well as the efforts of U.S. President Donald Trump aimed at halting the war in the Gaza Strip, achieving a prisoner exchange, allowing immediate entry of humanitarian aid, rejecting the occupation of the Strip, and opposing the displacement of Palestinian people from it. In this context, and in a manner that achieves an end to the war and the full withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, the movement announces its approval to release all prisoners of the occupation, both living and the bodies of the deceased, according to the exchange formula included in President Trump's proposal, and with the provisions of appropriate field conditions for carrying out the exchange process. In this regard, the movement affirms its readiness to immediately enter into negotiations through the mediators to discuss the details. The movement also reiterates its approval to hand over the administration of the Gaza Strip to a Palestinian body composed of independents, technocrats, based on Palestinian national consensus and supported by Arab and Islamic backing. Now, once again, all of this is the Hamas proposal. This was the Hamas proposal. Hamas said that they would disband politically, not disarm, of course, but disband politically and allow a Palestinian technocratic committee to rule the Strip. However, the Trump peace process, the 21-point program, does not actually do any of those things. The Trump peace program wants there to be a Palestinian committee that is still beholden to Donald Trump and Tony Blair. Now, Tony Blair obviously is a major ally to Israel. He is basically the stand-in for Israel there. He is the stand-in for Western interests here. He is the stand-in for Israel here. And therefore, it would render the technocratic Palestinian committee useless. Okay? Once again, removing autonomy and sovereignty and dignity from the Palestinian population. Okay? Also, I am noticing a lack of statements about disarmament, which was a non-starter, understandable, for not only Hamas, but the Palestinian population in its entirety. As for the other issues included in the President Trump's proposal that relate to the future of the Gaza Strip and the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people, these are subjects to a comprehensive national position and must be passed on relevant international laws and resolutions. These matters shall be discussed within a unified Palestinian national framework in which Hamas will participate and contribute with full responsibility. The Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas. Did we lose the rewind function already? Wait, you did already? This response is the most perfect possible response they could have to this. I admire their strategic consistency in the face of all this horror. Yeah, but they're not gonna they're not gonna bite. This comes after President Donald Trump gave Hamas a 6 p.m. Sunday deadline to agree to a deal or else. POTUS, an agreement must be reached by Hamas by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. Every country has signed on. If this last chance agreement is not reached, all hell, like no one has ever seen before, will break out against Hamas. That's what he said. So, make no mistake, a senior Hamas official released this statement, and the statement is basically a reiteration of what Hamas has already said. Yeah, Hamas says it accepts some elements of Trump's peace plan, but that others require further negotiation. Except this is their proposal. This has been their proposal. This is not different than previous proposals. Do you understand? This has been the proposal from Hamas for almost a fucking year, for longer than a year at this point. Meanwhile, Israel has announced that anyone that remains in Gaza City will be treated as a terrorist. Why has no one asked, why are we negotiating an end to the genocide? So many outlets are misreading this statement and leaving important details out. Hamas agrees to hand over hostages under Trump peace plan for Gaza. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't understand what Hamas is saying here. Okay? They're looking at Hamas agreeing to their concessions that they've made already and simply assuming that this is a full-blown recognition of the Trump peace proposal. Okay? One that Trump lied about, by the way, when he claimed he sent over to Hamas envoys anyway. They never did. This was basically put together by every party except for the Palestinians. Having said that, however, some of the inclusions in that proposal, the ones that Hamas agreed to here, were already concessions that Hamas had negotiated on and accepted, conditions that Hamas had accepted prior to this Gaza peace proposal. Now, the very fact that they are making it seem as though it's up to Hamas to end this genocide is also insane because Israel is doing the genocide. Hamas is not doing the genocide. It is Israel that's doing the genocide. So it's up to Israel to stop the genocide, which we all know they don't want to. Why do you think they don't want to? Because I have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a working brain in between them. And I have seen what Israel has done for the past 23 months. Because I've heard Israel speak. I meant explain for someone not knowing a lot. Israel has time and time again said they have no interest in actually doing any negotiation with Hamas whatsoever, openly, and that their desire is permanent ethnic displacement and ethnic cleansing and genocide. For the last 23 months, there have been numerous reasonable proposals that Hamas has put forward, proposals that America has taken and claimed Israel was offering, as a matter of fact. Israel has always added a last-second poison pill provision out of nowhere after they agree to their own fucking ceasefire, supposedly, and have decided, actually, you know what? We're going to continue fucking fighting. Israel has also killed negotiators like Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. But I've heard the Bibi guy say he does not like war. Okay. Adolf Hitler has said he doesn't like bloodshed either. Good point. Killing in Qatar, I see it now. No. That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about blowing up Ismail Haniyeh in fucking Tehran. The Qatar one is recent. I can't tell if this guy is like trolling or not, or if there's a person who found themselves in my community at this stage and still goes, I don't know, well, Bibi said, I mean, okay, I will watch more and learn. Okay, respect. This guy is awesome. He's the most open-minded, aloof guy I have ever met.
But you have to remember that when Netanyahu laid out by President Trump, Israeli forces would have an initial withdrawal at first, and then they would gradually withdraw as long as it took for the demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. So if there's a 10% demilitarization in Gaza, 10% more of Israeli troops would withdraw. That's how it's laid out in the deal.
American
and then eventually,
team to
once it gets up to a certain point, which is still up for negotiation, it seems, then Israeli troops would hand over everything to this international security force that's going to be in there. So there are so many moving parts here, and it seems like there are still some minor details that need to be hammered out. But you're right. Again, there is no trust between both of these sides. There are no guarantees when it comes to two groups who consider themselves complete enemies. So these mediators and these negotiators putting themselves in place, offering assurances, offering guarantees. President Trump is offering this as one of the most historic peace deals of the century. So you can understand that he wants credit for this. He is a deal maker. He wants the credit for ending the war on Gaza, for ending this conflict that has been going on for so long. And with all of the other sort of points in the deal, it can lead for a pathway to peace in the region in the future. But it's going to be up to both sides to try and narrow out those details as to how willing they are to expedite that process.
All right, Hamda, many thanks for that. We'll, of course, be checking in with you regularly as we digest this news. Well, as you know, we're covering Hamas's response to Trump's ceasefire proposal from multiple angles. We've got Rosalind Jordan in Washington, D.C. We just heard from Hamda Saleh, who's in the Jordanian capital, Amman. Let's go back to Al Jazeera's Ali Hashim, who's here in the studio with me, helping to decode all of this. So the suggestion is a very positive response, at least from Hamas, in terms of what was on the table in front of it, but it's not a clear yes to all of the points. Some of them were inevitably going to be difficult and challenging for Hamas to swallow, let alone huge questions about what it may mean in the long run for the hopes of a Palestinian state. But this is what we appear to know so far, that Hamas is ready to immediately engage in negotiations through mediators. Let's start with that one. What does that mean, to continue negotiating through mediators?
Well, this is what Hamas accepted before. This is not new, and this is among what they've accepted in the past, negotiating over a prisoner swap. Now, regardless of how a prisoner swap is going to happen, is it going to be immediate and all the Israeli captives are going to be released once and for all, and then the Palestinian prisoners also will be released. This is a detail, but You know, when you read the statement, Hamas is linking this to a full withdrawal from Gaza, which is not in the paper, which is not in the 20 points paper. So this is another issue we have to take into consideration.
I lost someone on 710. Many people I know are gone, and whole families were destroyed. You have no right to push one-sided views to 33,000 people when you have not seen what they've seen and believe. Find out.
Peripheries of Gaza, which is in the paper. In the
So just to
Finding
remind our viewers, it has always been a key priority for Hamas.
Bullet babies is not fun. My friend was found burned. Respect the victims.
This 20-point proposal is a kind of.
I don't know how to explain this to you, chatter. Israeli chatter. You have no right to defend an ongoing genocide that Israel is doing. Okay? Like, I respect the humanity of those who were killed on October 7. The problem for you, however, is that I also treat Palestinians as human beings as well. You do not. Because if someone was horrified by October 7, they should be fucking losing their minds about the countless October 7s that Israel has done to Palestinians before October 7 and certainly after October 7, as it has engaged in a relentless campaign of murder and ethnic cleansing and ethnic displacement, a genocide. There is no I'm the victim here, okay? It's easy to say that, but block me initially when I say that. Lol, look at your chat. I am looking at my chat. I think you should probably look at the rest of the world for a second. This is one of the few moments where it seems as though you have left your fucking hug box and are not surrounded by like-minded Israelis, but instead you are for the first time ever seeing how the rest of the world sees you as a monster, because you are a monster. Only a fucking monster can defend a genocide. Understand, this is not about anti-Semitism at all. I don't know how you justify it to yourself. I know from what I have seen, many Israelis think, no, we're hell-bent on death and destruction. They simply don't understand. These people don't understand because they're anti-Semitic. We are not anti-Semitic. We just know right from wrong. We are anti-genocide. Look at the hate speech your chat does. Nope, the reason I see your weird Twitch, I try to understand the other side. Brother, there is no other side, okay? There's a reason why large majorities of the fucking planet look to Israel as a Nazi state, because it is a Nazi state. I need you to understand this. There's no hate speech happening in this chat, by the way. Everyone's saying we don't give a fuck or fuck you, you're a Nazi. That's not hate speech, dumbass. That's just an accurate reflection of events. You need to wake up. But look at them. I am looking at them. I am. They're calling you a bitch. They're calling you a Nazi, which is true. Brother, if you think this community is actually engaging in hate speech, oh my God, don't dare go on Twitter, okay? Don't dare have a conversation with the average person right now, because this community is simply anti-Zionist. We moderate anti-Semitism every single fucking day. Just anti-Zionist, not anti-Semitic. There are plenty of Jews in this community as well, who themselves are also anti-Zionist. But trust me, this is one of the small slivers online that demonstrate principled anti-Zionism without engaging in anti-Semitism. The rest of the world looks very different right now. And that is because of Israel. This didn't happen out of nowhere. Okay? So you confirm you hate, you can't make a full conversation, so you confirm you spread hate speech? Wait, what are you saying? If you think saying fuck Israel is hate speech, then yeah, okay? Israel can suck my dick. Israel's a Nazi country, and you are a Nazi for defending Israel's Nazi behavior. There are anti-Zionist Jews in Israel that are in this fucking community, and they would say the same thing to you, okay? You dumb fuck. That's not hate speech. That's just saying the truth. The problem is, I think a lot of people in Israel think that like everywhere is Israel. Okay? They think everywhere is the fucking West Bank where they could just like, you know, kick and spit on people and do whatever the fuck they want. Show them to me. What do you mean, show who to you? See, this is what I mean. You don't get to boss me around, dipshit. Okay? I know that you live in a Jewish supremacist hug box, an ethno state that is basically designed the world at your fucking mercy, but that's not how it works in the real world. Do you understand? Show them to me. Israel #1. Fuck you. You can't make argument. Come here. I will spit on you. Like, where is this entitlement coming from? Brother, I swear to God, I think this is a byproduct of like unlimited fascist ideology, which is what Zionism is. Zionism is fascism. And because of that ethno-religious supremacist ideology going unchecked for so long, people who defend Israel have developed a sense of entitlement that is so indecent to the average person. It literally cuts to the very core of every human being. Like, even if Israel wasn't doing a fucking genocide and you behave this way, people will be like, dog, I think I'm like 10% more anti-Semitic after having this interaction with you. If you were to just like behave this way when you didn't get your wishes across at a fucking regular, like at a regular coffee shop, when you're like, when you didn't get your order, you know? It's so strange. It's so strange. It's like this disgusting, repulsive sense of entitlement. Like everyone is your fucking little cattle. Everyone's your little slave. You're like, what do you mean? Show me. Who are the anti-Zionist Israelis? Show me the Jews you are sheltering. Show them to me now. The fuck? Who the fuck are you? It's funny. You get mad. You feel the need to curse. 40 years old, ugly guy. You can't even talk normally. I'm sorry, what? Nah, this is a child for sure. Anyway, hopefully one day you'll understand that the entire world despises Israel for very good reason. And you're kind of demonstrating that right now, as a matter of fact. And this is a microcosm of why so many people are genuinely repulsed.
天上太阳风呀风通通的，心中太阳是毛泽东的，看看你到我们的结伴呢，这里本身咱家做主人，一呀一自由，两呀自由啊，这里本身咱。